everybody. I wanted to do another tips and tricks sort of video for you all. And again, this is not going to take any sort of particular order, but it's definitely stuff that can help your workflow and make things run a lot smoother. I guess I'll start out by something pretty simple. I used to think that it was really annoying that when you got on a job, like you didn't have certain materials. You'd be like, oh, I got to run this pipe. You guys don't have any minis. You don't have any strut. You don't have any strut straps. Like what was your plan here? And I always kind of chalked it up to having bad foremen. But like, if you think about it, at the end of the day, yes, it is the foreman's responsibility to be on top of those things, but at the end of the day, they're not the guy installing. So throw them a bone, and if you can, just like, it doesn't have to be every day, but if there's definitely something that is in a task that is really resource intensive, go ahead and like just make a mental note of, oh wow, we're out of a bunch of luminary MC connectors, or we're out of anti-shorts, or one-hole straps are getting kind of bone dry over here. So like, keeping note and keeping track of that can really help you in the future, because like, you're like, oh well, we don't have any material stocked on here. Like just make it a point of like making a list, and then like you could just text yourself like really quick, be like, oh, my MC strap's running low, and then you could, like, next time you see the foreman, just ask if they have like extra storage, and then you can go and find that. So making a mental note of like all the stuff you're burning through can really help with future like material shortage issues. So making that list, and if there's a material guy or someone who's in charge of that, make sure you like know them. If you got someone like running material from like a centralized location on the site, know them so you can see and get a hold of, you know, of someone who's in the know on what's getting received to the job. Yeah, so that's just a trick there. So to that point, knowing what material just gets absolutely obliterated all the time can really help you with preparing for the future. For instance, there's quite a few things that whenever I see, like if I see it on the ground, well, in general, if I see material on the ground, I like snap it up with the magnet on my tape measure, and I pocket it away in a little bin, or like little bag that I have for random material that you end up needing all the time. I'm definitely someone who doesn't like waste in general in life, and whenever I see like material like laying about, and someone's like, well, we don't need this or something, I'm like, instantly store it away in my stuff and end up using it within the next job or whatever. So like, just to go down the list, if I ever see KO seals for like 4S boxes, 411 boxes, or junction boxes in general, I snatch those up. If I see, some people call them, they're reducing washers is the actual name. I think it's kind of a bad name. Some people call them Chinese money, but whatever. If you see those, get all the sizes you possibly can, especially if you're on like a well-stocked job and it's the end of the job and they finished and they've got a bunch of stuff that they're going to send back to the shop. Again, this is kind of in the reference of a commercial electrician's sort of frame of perspective here. So if you are in that scenario, go ahead and grab that stuff, because it is like always something that you need. Someone's like, oh, we need to do this in 3/4, and they're like, whoops, we got to do it in 1 inch. And then you're like, well, I have a 3/4 inch hole. Can I just like block that off for now, and then you can use your 3/4 inch KO seal? Or another one would be sort of in that same vein, having well, I guess not in that same vein, but having screws, particularly long metal self-tappers, is something that whenever I see drywallers throw some on the ground, like I'm constantly like if I see drywallers like went with their drywall screw gun, and like one went in a little bit weird, and then they pull it out and they throw it on the ground, like, and those are just all stocked up all over the ground, like I instantly grab all of that stuff because it just helps. I don't know why on my jobs no one ever has long metal self-tapper screws, but having that stuff on hand has saved me so many times when I have to run a conduit or an MC or what have you on a finished drywall surface that's above ceiling. It's just great to have. So whenever I see long drywall screws, I always grab them. This wood screws too, like any screw I grab. I don't know why electrical companies just kind of suck at making that happen. I know it's a very high a lot of times people be like, hey, drywallers, can I just take some? And that's, I mean, think of that what you will. It's kind of not a good practice in my opinion, but there's definitely a surplus in that situation. So buddying up with other people can sometimes be good, because like some people are like, oh yeah, sure, you can have some screws, whatever, it doesn't matter. But so also, if I ever see any 3/8 hardware of any kind, I grab like 10 of each, just to have 10 of each like in my like little material bag that I have, so that like if someone's like, oh, you need to add this, and everyone's using 3/8 hardware to run strut, like I have it. So like 3/8 hardware, 1/4-inch hardware, I'll probably grab some 1/4-inch washers, especially because those things are awesome to have on deck for like securing a panel to some studs, or like securing a bigger J box, or just there's so many different scenarios you could go into or securing strut, with a screw to a stud, but you need to get through the channel hole in the back, and you need to have a way for the screw to be grabbing the strut. So in that situation, having 1/4-inch washers is a great thing. Having 3/8 hardware is an amazing thing to keep on deck. I also, whenever I see them, I grab 2-screw MC connectors. Those are just amazing for remodel work in commercial. And like, let's say if to drop an MC down a wall, having an MC connector that's not a snap-in style is just a lifesaver. It allows you to go into the KO knockout, and then it'll position itself really well if you just pull on the wire. And then once you've done that, you just twist the lock ring on, which is easier said than done, but it's much easier than trying to pull a snap-in connector into a box that is literally inaccessible. So 2-screw connectors, another great thing to have on deck. What other things are really good? Definitely like hardware for sure. I also sometimes grab like little like if I have like a 1-inch threaded nipple or like a 3/4-inch threaded nipple for strange scenarios where you have to LB into something, those are great. Or like, so I'll like have like, if I ever find like a couple like little like 1-inch or 3/4-inch threaded nipples, those things are really good. And sometimes I'll have lock rings on deck too, because sometimes like some lock rings will just thread horribly, and then it's like you just need like one lock ring of a particular type, or like there's not enough threads of this style of lock ring because it pushes you off the thing that you're trying to secure the conduit to, and you need like a slightly thinner one. So like sometimes I'll have like flex or 2-screw connector style lock rings, which are a little bit different than like EMT connector lock rings. So there's definitely a lot of other stuff. Also wire nuts. Whenever I see wire nuts and electrical tape, whenever you see electrical tape, grab it, because it just is there and then it's instantly gone. So like grab like one roll and then grab another one, because like it is insane how quick electrical tape goes away. Like so many times, like when I make up heads on wire pulls, I'll go from the back towards the front. I'll like, let's say I'll have like, it's like I have like a full boat. Like I'll do the pairs together with a little piece of tape, just so it's easier to identify, and then I'll work my way from the back towards the stripped head, and then leave it like ready for the fish tape. So I'll like tape it up to like the hook on the ground, and then leave it there, and then I'll like have it ready, and then like everyone's all in position and we're ready to go, and then the person's able to make up the head when they're ready. And that's how I leave it. I'll just leave the tape still on there like that. And so many times when I do that, people just take my tape, and I never get I get lost in the sauce and don't ever get it back. But like tape, like someone's gonna steal your tape 9 times out of 10. Like it's kind of insane how often electrical tape is just completely blatantly stolen. So grab one for you, grab one for the guy that's gonna ask you for one. Maybe even have one as a backup. This is probably why electrical tape is always gone, because people grab like 3 rolls. But it's insane how fast some days you can go through electrical tape, and you don't want to be the guy that's like doesn't have the most basic shit that you need. So yeah, get electrical tape. Like I said, wire nuts as well. Wire nuts are invaluable. I don't know why sometimes people just have them in the bag and then they don't have any like real bags of storage on them to have extra on you. But I so often find a job where they have a surplus of wire nuts and they don't have any use for them, and I'll just store like 100 in my like little material bag. And that stuff saves me sometimes, because there'll be like jobs that have like you get thrown right into it, and they're like, well, you need to do a lot of makeup, and it's like, do you have any wire nuts? And they're like, no. And then you're just like basically like living off of the good grace of the last job that's bringing you through to this next job. And being self-prepared really does a lot for making sure that you are able to continue to work even if the job site has someone who's not great at staying ahead of material needs. So those are just a couple of tips. I could definitely do more of these for sure. There's a lot of things that are like good practice that go a long way. I hope you guys enjoy this one. I'll catch you in the next one.